If you follow along our channel or watch any of our camera reviews, then you'll know that we spend a lot of time with rear cameras and kind of just glance over the selfie cameras. That's because, more often than not, it's the rear camera system that's much better and deserve more of our time and effort. But today's video is a little bit different. We are flipping the script this time because once in a while, we do get phones like these. So these are the two new members of the Huawei Nova 14 series, currently called the King of AI Selfies. Yep, so while they do have pretty respectable rear cameras, it's really the front cameras that are the highlight of these series. Now, why are the front-facing cameras interesting? Well, for a couple of reasons. First, we do have the first ever 50 megapixel portrait dual AI camera on the Pro variant, and we also have a new ultra snapshot feature, another industry first, which is kind of like a fast shutter mode for the front-facing camera. We also have AI that's specifically tuned for selfies, not just generic AI. So we're going to test that and a lot more in this video. But first, let's go through some specs. The Huawei Nova 14 series comes in two variants, the base Nova 14 and the Nova 14 Pro. At first glance, they look similar, but there are some key differences. Let's start with the cameras. The Nova 14 Pro comes with a 50 megapixel dual front AI portrait camera, an industry first. It also offers a telephoto lens capable up to 2 times optical zoom and 5 times digital zoom. Another industry first is the ultra snapshot feature, which we'll talk about later on. Now, the base Nova 14 keeps it simple with a single setup. You don't have a telephoto lens, but you still have that same 50 megapixel AI portrait camera. Flipping to the back, both phones sport triple rear camera systems, but again, the Pro gets the more advanced treatment. It features a 50 megapixel ultra vision camera with an adjustable aperture, plus an ultra chroma camera that uses a 1.5 million spectral channel sensor for more accurate colors and better detail. Moving to displays, here things are easier to distinguish. The Nova 14 Pro has a 6.78-inch quad curved OLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. The base variant has a similarly designed OLED display but boasts a flat panel instead of curved. For design, both are equally gorgeous, sporting Huawei's new Star Orbit ring and that ice crystal texture finish. Because what's a Nova phone without that shimmer? For power, both have a large 5500 mAh battery paired with Huawei's 100-watt supercharged turbo. One of the things I've learned over the years of testing different kinds of smartphone cameras is that not a lot of them are fast, or not a lot of them are designed to shoot fast. They may be capable of it, but because of all the processing and everything, it's not really what happens. Even in bright light, there are only a handful of phones that could capture motion effectively with any or even no blur at all. So when Huawei said that the Huawei Nova 14 had an ultra snapshot feature that could capture high motion for its front-facing cameras, of course I was interested, and of course we had to test it out. Now, you do have to head into snapshot mode, which is just a swipe to the side. As to how it works, well, in snapshot mode you have an AI motion tracking system, which helps detect subject movement. Then it triggers a dual shutter capture to reduce motion blur. In real-world tests, you can sense the speed of that shutter, especially during fleeting moments, like taking photos with a skittish pet like Mr. Puff, twirling a skirt, or even a simple hair flip. Now let's talk about zoom, the kind of zoom that you don't usually get on a front-facing camera, but something you'll find on the Huawei Nova 14 Pro. On many phones, the selfie camera is locked into 1 or 2 focal lengths, but with the Huawei Nova 14 Pro, you get wide, normal, mid-telephoto, and even a 5 times digital zoom if you really want to get up close. As long as you have enough light, all these focal lengths seem usable. And most importantly, it was so much easier to shoot and see myself because we are using the front camera here. Now, this next part really is the core of the whole King of AI Selfies claim, because you've already got capable hardware, so what's the next step? You bring in smart software, and that's exactly what you're getting with the Nova 14 series. Now, while these AI features aren't new, you've probably seen them on other phones as well, Huawei does claim that it is specifically tuned for selfies. First is AI Best Expression. This feature automatically picks the best version of each face taken from a burst of shots. Just tap Best Expression and ta-da! No derpy faces here! Next up is AI Beauty Effect. Now, Huawei gives you 3 portrait styles: natural, delicate, and stylish. Since it uses AI, each effect tweaks lighting, tone, and skin texture depending on the current scene, so it fits better than your regular filter. We also have AI Remove, which is a very popular tool these days. Same thing, while in the gallery, just tap Remove, and AI does the rest. Finally, we have AI Gesture Control. While probably not designed for taking photos, it is incredibly useful for the everyday, especially when my hands are full. It just makes navigating much easier. You'll be glad to know that despite all that focus on the front-facing cameras, the rear cameras don't get left behind. In fact, they're still very highly capable. In bright light, the Ultra Chroma sensor really shines, delivering vivid, realistic tones that make portraits look strikingly authentic. Details are stunning and close to lifelike. The variable aperture also helps maintain that depth of field and preserve fine details, even in complex lighting situations. When indoors, the sensor is large enough to keep things pretty nice and clean. Colors are still faithful and shadows not so muddy, a curse that often plagues other phones. Now, outside of its cameras, the Huawei Nova 14 Pro is a proper smartphone for a modern creature. With a large and beautiful display, it's a joy for viewing photos and videos. Along with that smooth 120Hz refresh rate, gaming is also incredibly fun. Speaking of gaming, performance-wise, the Nova 14 Pro handles that and multitasking with ease, thanks to its capable chipset and optimized software. Things can stay smooth under heavy loads. As mentioned earlier, this does have a 5500 mAh battery with 100-watt supercharged turbo. In the real world, we got about 7 to 8 hours of screen time before we needed to charge. Finally, this is a phone that's built to last. The series carries an IP65 dust and water resistance rating and a 5-star drop resistance certification. The Huawei Nova 14 earns the title King of AI Selfies, not because it has the best AI or the best hardware. No, it's really more on the harmony between the two and how it's presented to us as users. Normally, other phones rely on digital cropping and lower resolution sensors for the front-facing cameras. But this Nova 14 Pro is set to be serious, boasting an industry-first 50-megapixel front AI portrait dual camera, along with a versatile range of focal lengths and of course that ultra snapshot feature. AI tools are easy, accurate, quick to get to, and help with all those small issues. So while there probably still isn't a phone that can guarantee you a perfect selfie every time, the Huawei Nova 14 series, especially this Pro variant, works very hard to get you to as close as perfect as possible with everything that we just talked about. And if ever you're kind of sick of taking your selfies this way, then maybe it's about time you check out the Huawei Nova 14 series. It is coming soon. We'll put all the details, all you need to know down in this description box. And as usual, if you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing to us here at The Modern Creatures. We're also on all the social media platforms, so follow us there as well. And I guess that's it for me. It's Vika, and I'll see you in the next video.